everybody. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope everyone is having a great Tuesday, and or will have a great Tuesday whenever you see this, or had a great Tuesday. um, Blessings to you all. I never wake up day by day and never thank God to allow me to see another day. And so I'm very grateful to God, grateful for my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And so just wanted to say that. And as you can see with the title, I just want to talk a little bit about Colorado football, Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffs, and where do they go from here? They started out very well against TCU, and it looked, the crazy thing about it is that it looked almost identical to the way they started out with BYU. And but BYU eventually won the game, and the same with TCU. Colorado have been these last Georgia Tech, BYU, and TCU. The Houston game, they just got beat. They got beat in the Houston game. And by the way, Houston got beat pretty handily by Texas Tech this past weekend. Just want to throw that out there. But outside of that, Colorado has been in these games. They have been in these games. Now the score is not indicative of how close the game really was. I think the competitiveness of the game. And when I really look at the game, and the reason why CU lost is that they made too many mistakes. They just made too many mistakes, and they kept giving the ball back to TCU. And if you do that enough times against a quality team, they're going to capitalize off of it. And that's essentially what happened. Too many mistakes. I'm not going to, just overall, just too many things happen that didn't need to happen for CU. And it was almost kind of like the same thing against BYU. I mean, they come out fast, they come out strong. They come out, man, and before you know it, it's 14-0. They're up 14 points right off the top, and it looks like things are looking good, for CU. And in the BYU game, I think at halftime it was 14-3 or somewhere around in there. And then the second half is just, if they play the first half like they played the second, if they play the second half like they played the first half, they would have won all three of those games that were winnable, even against Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech is in the top 25. BYU's in the top 25, and they were right there with these teams. And the way I look at it is that CU, honestly, they should be 5-1. They should be 5-1. They really could be 5-1, or at the least 4-2. 4-2. 1-1 in the conference. At the least. And they would be looking pretty decent, you know. But instead of 4-2 or 5-1, they're 2-4. Unfortunately. And 0-2 in the conference. Now, you know, I listen to, you know, different YouTubers, and some feel like it's, you know, they don't feel like it's gonna go well the rest of the way, and they could be right. It's gonna be up to CU. It's gonna be up to the players, coaches, all that. This is the first time that I've heard Coach Prime talk about how he needs to do better. I mean, you know, this is the most I've heard of him saying that. How he needs to, the coaching staff, really everybody. The only part of the team that seems to be doing pretty, seems to be pretty consistent lately has been the special teams and the offensive line. This offensive line, they're doing their job. They're doing their job. But they're not playing complimentary football. I mean, they play, the first half is pretty good, but they're not consistent. You got to be consistent throughout the whole game. And they just haven't figured out how to get over that hump seemingly when they are in certain situations in the game where they need to make a first down, or they need to make a touchdown, or they need to make a stop, and it just seems like they can't get it done. And that's when you know your team is growing and getting better. The sign of a good football team is a team that can overcome adversity. You're not gonna always just blow out folk or just be ahead by 2 or 3 touchdowns and all that. There's some games, man, you got to know how to win by 3 or win by 1. You know, or win by a touchdown or whatever. You know, there's going to be some games where you're going to have to be able to win those types of games. And they've been in these types of games. All these games that they have lost, they've had the opportunities. They just hadn't come out with the dub. And I know it's frustrating I know there's players that really do care, and I'm not saying that players don't care, you know, but you know, it's got to be frustrating. It's got to be like, I mean, come on, you know, we got to be able to get one of these games that we should be winning. We got to get a dub out of some of this. I mean, we just can't just lose all these close games. And I mean, and so I think there's a couple of things. One is leadership is lacking. I would venture to say leadership is lacking. That's been said, that's been mentioned. It's lacking. Leadership is lacking. Try this Yoo-hoo. Oh Lord, that was my fault. Yeah. But we used to sell these at the convenience store I used to work at some years ago. But the leadership is lacking, and that's what they need. See, one thing I do know this is that when you have player-led teams that are led by players, they have leadership amongst the team members, the teammates. Usually those teams do well. Those teams do real well because it's not just the coach, it's not just the coaching staff that's saying this is what you need to do or that, or getting on them for this or that, but it's amongst their peers. And that's very, very powerful when you have amongst your peers guys that are getting it done. They're getting it done in practice. They're getting it done in the games. And they speak up. And they challenge the guys. And they get on the guys. And they encourage the guys. And they, and they listen to them because they're getting it done. It's not like they're just talking and they're not doing anything. They're getting it done. So they are the example of what they're saying. Hey, let's go. Let's get a stop, or let's get in the end zone, or whatever. They need leadership amongst the team members, and I think that's lagging. I think that's lagging. And the coaches can only do but so much. I mean, I know that the coaches, when it's all said and done, it all falls on Coach Prime. That's just the nature of being a head coach. Everybody's good when you're winning, but when you're losing, it's a whole different type of thing. And you got to take the good with the bad as a head coach, and but the bottom line is this: the head coach, the assistant coaches, the staff of coaches, they're not out there playing. And if guys are not doing what they're supposed to do, if guys are not executing, guys are not being consistent, and the same old thing is happening, you're gonna, like they say, you're gonna get the same old thing. You're gonna get the same old outcome. What CU need, they really need a win. They need a win badly. They have Iowa State. It's not gonna be an easy one. They need to get the dub. They need to get a dub. I mean, like, today they need to get a dub. They need to get a W so that they can feel like, okay, we can win these games. I mean, okay, yes, you can learn from losing, but a winner, nobody wants to lose consistently. You don't even want to get in the habit of that. I mean, it's like, no. Something has to turn around here. We still have a lot of football left to play. It's 6 games. We still have a lot of football left to play. And it's going to be up to the players. It's going to be that who's going to step out and be like, look, man, I don't know about you, but I am tired of losing. I'm tired of it. What are we gonna do to change this? You know, and like you said, it starts in practice. But you know, and that's where the coaches can't do. They can't do it. They can't. They can try to help them as best they can, but when it's all said and done, the players are out there playing. So if you miss a tackle, you missed that tackle. If you throw an interception, you threw that interception. If you commit multiples of penalties, you did that. And you're hurting the team. Penalties hurt the team. You fumble the ball, the other team recover, that hurts the team. You throw an interception, that hurts the team. If you just don't make it happen, you don't make a play, and they get a touchdown, that hurts the team. Who from the team that's getting it done is going to step up and say, look, this is unacceptable. I'm not a loser. I'm a winner. I'm tired of losing. Everybody needs to be holding themselves accountable for what they know they need to be doing. Because excuse me. So that was actually pretty good. Let me see who's in. Doubt. That guy. Hey, how you doing? That guy. What's going on? I was drinking a Yoo-Hoo. He said, bro, what are you doing? Drinking a Yoo-Hoo. And talking about the Colorado game. So I'm talking about Colorado, Coach Prime and Colorado Buffaloes, who are 2-4 now, 0-2 in the conference. Looks like the walls are coming down all around, but they still have a lot of football left to play. And so what I'm saying is that they can continue to keep pushing and fighting. Somebody has to step up and say, look, this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. I'm tired of losing. You know, let's make it happen. Let's get it done in this next game. That's all we have to look forward to. It's the next game. Last game is gone. It's done. Can't do anything about it. We can look forward to this game that we got on Saturday, and we got to win. We got to do what we got to do. We got to execute, and we got to be consistent from the start to finish. And if we do that, we'll come away with the dub. If we don't, we'll come away with the L. Simple as that. So, but anyway, I didn't want to be on here long. Just want to share my thoughts. We'll see you, Coach Prime. Will they turn things around? Is it too late? We'll see. Well, I thank you for chiming in. Make sure you hit that like button, comment. This is college football I was talking about. Put in your favorite college team. And thanks for chiming in. Hit the like button. And blessings, everybody.